Hey guys, just want to do a quick update video for you here. I figured I would start because it's going to have an awkward stare if I let you start. So might say hi, right? And then just get the awkward stage out of the way here.
Might as well. Yeah, I guess so. That was so weird. I took a breath and I was ready to talk, and then you started talking. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Probably not.
Hey, everybody. So, hey, we have a few updates for you. I think probably a lot of you know, and hopefully none of you are sharing this experience with Jason Tucker and Kenny Gardner right now, but Kenny has been down for the count for several days. He's been really sick for maybe, I want to say 2 weeks. He's been working in the background. You guys see him coming up and posting and doing things. He's been helping behind the scenes here and there kind of as he can, but it's been really bad for he and his family for the last couple of weeks, and we completely lost him just in the last 2 days. He jumped into our private Slack and said, "Guys, I can't think, I can't do anything. I'll sign back on when I feel like I'm alive again," or something like that. In the meantime, Jason Tucker has kind of the same thing going on. Sounds like the same kind of sickness, and he's been completely out of the loop, down for the count for at least 4 days, maybe 5 now. So we've got this tight crew that's responsible for most of this build up to the traffic, and half the crew is completely out of commission right now. So part of the reason it's been quiet, part of the reason there's been a gap, and some, those of you that are doing tasks, thank you for participating and helping with that. Part of the reason it's been quiet as we've been trying to maneuver through all this sickness. So what can we do? We find ourselves at a little bit of a standstill on some of these things. Bobby and I were just talking about this, and we said, we should shoot a video and just get everybody up to speed. So while we're kind of at a standstill with some of this kind of thing, what we're thinking is a reminder, and just let's look at where we are. Where are we on the other fronts? We have several funnels on paper, one in the works right now. You guys will be able to see that pretty soon. The one that you guys, I think, are all familiar with now has been tweaked and tweaked and tweaked and tweaked, and we have it where we like it. The next step is to put a bunch of traffic on it, which we have not done yet. So why haven't we run big traffic? We don't have the Army. Originally, when we announced all this, we were thinking the Army. We were thinking we'd have the seats filled by the end of January. I'm surprised, Bobby, that it's February 10th and we don't have all the seats filled. It's okay. It just means we need to fill the seats. So where are we? What are the count? What's the count look like for workers?
So on the team site, we have 292 people signed up as of this second. And of those people that are accepting tasks, my keyboard went out on me, so I can't type anything. So I think last time I checked about 5 minutes ago, we had 232 people with tasks enabled.
Yep. So part of the reason some of you have gotten conflicting reports, and I have a couple PMs about this, and why is the number changing? Well, numbers changing because it's not as easy as just going, how many people have registered at the team site? And sometimes that number's been thrown around. We're almost at 300 there, obviously. We need to know how many people have not only, did the toggle that says I'm ready for tasks. We need to know actually a step even further than that. How many people are actually doing tasks? How many people have done tasks? With your keyboard out of commission, can you even look at that yet?
I just stood up and unplugged and plugged it back in. So let's see here. I'd have to get into the database for that, but I'm guessing that it'd be a total guess. So I'll have to run a number, and we can put that in the email that we're going to send out here.
Okay, so we'll report that in the email that comes along with the video that you're seeing here. I'm going to just guess and say that we probably have something less than 200 even doing tasks.
Right.
Right. So 220 some have enabled tasks, but we have a couple hundred that are actually doing them. So we need, 300. That number, that 300 is, there's a bunch of reasons why it needs to be 300. So we need to get that up before we start driving any serious traffic. We need to get that number up. We got to get where we need to be. So what we're going to ask you guys to do right now is keep an eye on tasks. And if you enabled them, but you haven't actually done any, and you want to make sure you get one of these seats, you need to go actually do some tasks. So look for the next fresh batch of tasks that comes through. And given that the two guys that head most of that up are completely like out of commission, sick, you might not see anything or much of anything for the next 2 or 3 days until these guys start to feel alive again. Or I'm not even sure. Hopefully Jason doesn't have it as bad as Kenny has.
There are still a ton of tasks that haven't been completed yet. I'm looking in our little admin section here, and we've got tasks from the 3rd and the 4th of February that still have 50 people that have tasks enabled that haven't completed those tasks. So
okay. So one little side thought on that, Bobby. I think we don't want any of you guys watching this that are doing tasks to feel like you have any responsibility to elbow your neighbor and try to get them to do tasks. That's not your job. That's not your role. You don't need to worry about that. The best thing any of us can do is fill seats. So we would encourage you to invite people to look at Melaleuca. And, we've done a lot of talking and thinking the last few weeks around the whole approach. And I know some of you guys have gone to friends and said something like, hey, I figured out a way for us to get paid for clicking around social media sites. You should jump in on this with me. It's okay. It's fine. I mean, that's what we're putting together here. But if you're looking at, hopefully most of you guys now have had a week, 2, 3 weeks, maybe longer with Melaleuca products around the house. Do you like them? Do you like the brand? I mean, do you genuinely like the brand? Have you genuinely been impressed with what you see behind the Melaleuca login? Have you watched the Paysetter video? Have you watched some of the Learn to Earn stuff? I don't want to get too deep down or too far down that rabbit trail because Gary Miller and I did a live hangout last night with pretty short notice. Sorry about that. Some of you might be going, what? A live hangout? Yeah, we did a live hangout last night. The Facebook group was totally restructured, and then we did short notice for what'll be our regular weekly hangout now every Thursday night with you guys. But Gary and I went deep on what is Melaleuca? Why are we here? What is this? How does it work? The basics. We went into inviting, how to properly present Melaleuca to somebody you know or a stranger or whatever, and then how to enroll that person. So top to bottom, we went through the whole process. It took over an hour. But we really went into a lot of detail. And the more the guys and I talk, the more we go, what, and we did say this we have been saying this from the very beginning. Melaleuca is why we're here. Whatever we do on top of Melaleuca, we want to make sure it doesn't steal the show. We don't want to make sure it doesn't steal the spotlight. It doesn't deserve the spotlight. All we're doing, really, here's all we've done. We found this amazing setup, Melaleuca, where we can feed customers in the front and they stay. They shop, they buy over and over again for years, and we all get paid. And everybody wins. Nobody's getting stepped on. Nobody's getting taken advantage of. Everybody we kind of nudge towards the front door, they were spending this money on toothpaste and laundry soap anyway. It's just a matter of who they're spending their money with. So we're giving them a better, safer alternative, more convenient alternative, better for the environment, and on and on and on. You guys have heard it. So we're nudging them towards kind of this holding area. It's one way to look at it. And we're used to operating with this sieve. So we're throwing people in the sieve and they're just falling out the bottom. That's all we've done for years. I think that's all any of us have done in this home business space for years. So now we finally found a place where we can kind of push people towards the front door. They go in and they stay there and they shop and they're happy and they spend money and a lot of them were for friends, their mom, their sister, their neighbor, because they genuinely like the stuff. So what we would encourage is look at the tech component as 5% of the greater picture. And the greater picture is awesome, and it's simple, and it's clean, and it's all these things that we keep talking about. If you haven't quite gotten that you haven't really internalized that, we would encourage you to do what it takes to internalize that and participate more. I'm not preaching it necessarily to everybody here, because some of you guys have been running your tails off telling everybody you know, and that's awesome. Do you have to do that? No, you don't have to. You don't have to tell anybody. You can totally wait on the tech. You can totally do that. It's no problem. I just want to encourage a few more people to help us fill seats, because it's taken a while. See, I've been going to the beach and stuff, hoping Bobby would fill those seats, and he filled a bunch of them, but not all of them. So anyway, I think that's what I had in my head.
Sounds good. Yep, I think we're good.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys.